Hello, it's March 2024, and I remember reading in a law book once that anyone can argue, but not everyone can be persuasive. And I just want to stop here for a moment. Just because someone is persuasive does not mean that they're correct or whatever it is that they're discussing, debating, or stating is correct or accurate. The reason why I bring this up is because I see so many people, the commoner, especially in the truther movements and freedom movements, all they want to do is argue. And they think they know what's going on. They think they have a grasp of something. And a lot of times they're so far from that. And I find myself, for example, if I decide to comment to someone's video or post or whatever, people will argue it, but they cannot back it up. Whereas when I state something, I back it up. And if I back it up too much, then people say that, I'm writing an essay or a book or something and mock that because they lack the ability to, perhaps patience, to read through and understand what's being said. This is the fundamental problem with the commoner. And I can see how, as a descriptive of the ruling class, how they just take advantage of the commoner. Now, the ruling class, as continuing with that descriptive, they have generational commitment to whatever it is that they're doing. And they really make sure that, for example, their offspring or family or even friends succeed. They might have their differences, they might not even like each other, but they will stick together. And you don't see that with the commoner. I see that a lot with the commoner. Especially, again, when I state something, they attack. Rather than take the opportunity to learn something, they think they already know something about, for example, a topic that they have no idea about. Because they automatically assume, again, using myself as an example here, that someone that's among the commoner is one of them. And that's not always the case. A lot of people think they are, and a lot of people think that they're more than who they actually are, but that's beside the point. But it's very frustrating trying to help the commoner, and I look at the efforts that I've done for many, many years now, and it hasn't won me any favors. In fact, it's cost me everything several times. And to be met with, as a descriptive, resistance and ridicule by the commoner, the truthers, and the freedom people, it's discouraging. It's made me really reevaluate my efforts, for example. Everyone says, well, you've done the right thing, or you try to do the right thing. That's fine. And perhaps that's who I am, is doing the right thing. As I've shown in other videos, the meaning of my last name being a warrior for truth and justice. And apparently my first name meaning praiseworthy. So perhaps it is part of my character, but it's really living as I have been for many years. It's really had me thinking, and I've mentioned this briefly in other videos as well. I just really want to focus on this right now. I've walked away from a world that the commoner only read about or hear about. to help the commoner. And again, being met with resistance and ridicule is very discouraging. And then after, or I should say at some point, I had an offer after 2010, I think could have been 2010 or 11. I had the opportunity twice within 1 year to be what I call online celebrities. I could have been one of them. The first time, the offer was more to be, for some reason, a spiritual guru of some sort, and I quickly turned that down. And there was another time where I was approached in person saying they knew that I had online content and basically said, well, have you ever thought about, using my descriptive being famous, like an online celebrity? And I said, well, even at that time, no one really heard of me. And they said, well, we'll take care of all that. And I said, well, what do I talk about? Anything you want. And there was a but. And it was that but that I was sitting there thinking, no. And ever since then, I see a lot of successful people, for example, online. And I also automatically remember the offers that were made to me. I turned them down because, again, it wasn't really helping the people. And that's why I've highlighted so much about these online celebrities, and people have to be very wary of them because they may not or are not who people think they are. And this is nothing to do against these people, and perhaps some of these people don't even realize that as a descriptive they're being used for this game. And the game, in part, being there's a flavor of Kool-Aid for everyone, whether it be mainstream or alternative. And it doesn't matter what belief system or religion you're a part of, whatever political party you think is worthy, any of this stuff. It's all a game. And then we have the big picture of life being the game, the world stage. And I've been really trying to help people understand this through my talks and my videos, as well as overlays and everything else. Again, being met with resistance and ridicule. And no one really seems to want to listen, because if you don't say something, or you end up saying something that doesn't feel right for them, then automatically you're completely dismissed, erased, canceled, even among the truther and freedom community. And this is just the way it is. It always has been, is now, and always will be. But there are other people, for example, like myself, who have first-hand knowledge, first-hand experience, greater understanding, and the commoner doesn't want to listen. Usually because they rather listen to someone that's, another example, an online celebrity who is or appears to be successful, because it's kind of like branding. Branding being people being socially conditioned to buy a specific make of a product. And people get accustomed to that, and they go back for more and more. And I've said for many years now, people are addicted to, for example, negativity or something, even something that makes them feel good, and they look for that. And when you're someone that's not telling people what they want to hear, that doesn't make them feel good, because it's taking them out of their comfort zone, well, then these people have a problem with you. They ignore you, ridicule you, mock you, whatever, cancel you. We see this on any topic. And all I've tried to do share my personal and professional life experiences to help people understand. And I guess in a sense I can say rhetorically, was it worth it? Or is it worth it? Because it hasn't benefited me anything. And I'm not looking for a pat on the back or compliments or any of that kind of stuff. Fame, fortune, really don't care about that stuff anymore. I just at least want to have the respect of not being ridiculed and argued with by people who use logical fallacies, for example. And there's other people just like me that small, you never heard of. Everyone has a story. But this is the world we live in. So I guess really what you can take from all this is, something, rather than impose a thought on that, I'll leave that to you to figure out. And I've had people tell me for many years that my content, whether it be video or in writing, let's say online, seems to go over most people's heads. Maybe that's true. I don't see it that way. I don't see myself as anyone special. I just know what I know and try to share. I'm just going to close off, I guess, by saying that for a lot of people who are trying to seek the truth and they're addicted to that, and I've said in videos where people get to the truth and they keep going because the lure of the rabbit hole is just so great. It's just, and they miss the truth. But with all that said, put aside, even among the commoner seeking the truth, everyone is at a different place. Some people, they never leave the beginning stage. They're always trying to find stuff, and then they start cherry picking and putting their own ideas together, and then boom, there's someone's, I used to call personal fiction, and that's not anything like, maybe it sounds worse than what it really means, but personal fiction being someone's opinion, theory, belief, want. These things are personal fictions. But everyone's at a different stage. And there are people who do know more and have a better understanding of things. And I've asked, how would you know when someone comes along with greater understanding and knowledge? We have pride coming in and interfering with all that. But anyway, just think about the things that I've said in this video or whatever, if you so want. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people say to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.